Well, welcome to the Esports Classroom podcast. Again, this is a little project where we're interviewing esports coaches, others involved, just to kind of get a lot of information about how esports are going to high schools and all that. So I got Isaac Vos with me today. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, where you're from, what school district are you with, and give some information about where and what size it is.
My name is Isaac Vos. I'm the deck head coach and also esports league treasurer. So the school I'm coming from is Mount Ayr. I always tell people we're about 30 miles from the Missouri border. If they don't know that, then we're about 2 hours from Kansas City. So we're far southwest Iowa. We're working about, I'd say maybe graduating classes about 50. So I'm not a math teacher, so I can't really do the math on how many classes we have. It'd probably put us around, I think, 400 students in the district. So it's a pretty small sized district. But it's been a pretty good place to start our the esports journey for me.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a lot of schools at smaller scale actually got started with esports maybe more easily than the bigger schools. I think just because obviously it scales up, you get a lot more kids involved. Actually, I think I have the same number of kids involved as Nevada, who's one third our size. And I've taught at a school district, well, just a hair bigger than yours. And trying to think about that. How did you get your esports program started, or when did you come into your role in that?
So I was actually asked my first year of teaching in the district. I was very outspoken about playing video games. My principal had a couple of daughters that were in my world history classes, and I was being a world history nerd. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan.
Yep.
So I would always pull that in. And eventually my principal was like, "Hey, so you play video games. Do you want to do an esports team?" And, being a first year teacher, you don't really want to take on too many responsibilities because you're still trying to figure out what the heck this teaching is about.
Yep.
So I told him, hey, a couple years, ask me again, we'll see where it is. So he came from East Union, and East Union used to have an esports league. I don't know if they still have a team. I think the deck and coach there left, but she kind of worked with me. I met with her, talked through what it would entail being part of the Iowa High School Esports Association. And after that, I texted him, I think, on the way back, and I'm like, let's do it. So started figuring out some quotes, trying to figure out how many PCs we wanted to buy. I originally wanted to buy 10. They talked me down to six. So I have enough for most of the titles we play, and then an extra in case a PC decides to brick itself.
Yep.
But we started to use that extra as our streaming PC. So at first, I kind of focused on the PC titles. I didn't really want to go too far into the console world because I wasn't a huge Nintendo Switch player. But then this year, I've started to branch into the Switch. So now I've added a Smash team, and I'll add a Mario Kart 8 team when it comes up to it. So added kind of a new group of people, kind of excited with the group of people I've added. And I guess I'd say it kind of doubled the size of my program because now I'm getting the consoles and the PC side. So
Yep.
I kind of get everyone, and I'm getting a lot more overlap now, is what I'm
Yeah.
getting.
And I think I've seen that too, where you get some overlap with kids who play both the Nintendo games and then the PC games, but there
Mhm.
are definitely kids who are, oh, I'm so much on the PC game. That is where I'm focused on.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
you starting with six sounds very similar. Like when we started in Nevada, we really just had six gaming laptops to start with. And then we
Mhm.
found some old PCs that were able to be upgraded a little bit as like backup machines, but main word there's backup. And I don't think a lot of people understand that it doesn't take much for a PC to randomly decide not to work.
Oh no,
Um,
no.
I mean, we built a new high school in Ames, and so I made sure when they did that, they got PC capable computers in our AutoCAD lab. Um, but like one randomly just shut down, said, no, I'm not going to run Overwatch anymore. I'm sorry, I'm done with that game. And I'm like,
Oh
all right,
yeah,
well, luckily I had 28 computers in there, whereas
yeah,
when you only have five or six, losing one is a big
yeah.
deal.
You're kind of in. It's a hard thing. I remember when we went to state last year for class 1A for Rainbow Six. I think they
Yep.
bricked like 20 computers or something like that. That was a long that was a long day.
Yeah, we had one when we were there for was it Overwatch or Valorant. I think it was Valorant, and the power supply exploded pretty much. It just
Oh
destroyed
gosh,
itself. So I mean, that's a whole machine down. It's not like you have a lot of backups. I think we
no.
ran. I just say I'm bad luck. Like all the issues happen at state when I'm there.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
there a lot, so I say that no. About how many kids do you have playing? Well, you're playing Smash right now. So about
Mhm.
how many kids do you have, knowing that there are five you have to have in our league? But where are you sitting?
I've got about 7 or 8, I think, out for Smash, and then I've
Okay.
got 6 art out for Rainbow Six. So I've got about 15, 13 to 15 kids. I'm hoping by about end of the year, kind of get close to 30 across the 6 titles, just
Yep.
kind of reach out. I mean, 30 in a class, a school of, maybe 300, 400, that's a pretty big chunk of
Oh,
the student body coming out. And it's an exciting thing where we got excited. I'm getting a lot of different kids excited about it too. So I've just started hosting open labs for Overwatch, and I'm getting a lot of good kids coming in. So
well, that's one of those questions I don't think I put on that. But how are you recruiting? I guess that you're getting the word out. You say the open labs.
mhm.
In a smaller school, I guess you know more of the students too.
Yeah. So I teach about 5 different classes a day. So I kind of, when I first started, I just had like a introductory meeting of like, hey, so we're doing this next year. What do we want to do? Sort of thing. Are you interested? And now it's kind of word of mouth thing where I share open labs. I'll say, hey, I'll talk to kids and try to like figure out what kids are good at playing games, and then I'll usually I try to talk with them in person, just say, hey, I've heard you good at playing this game. Are you considering kind of going out? And then I can get some kids to come out. It's really kind of just word of mouth with a smaller
Yep.
district. You kind of when you have the smaller districts, and I stream it on YouTube, so kids get to see like what we do. So I think it's kind of generating that excitement for kids wanting to do it, and then the word of mouth just individually going out and saying, "Hey, I want you. I think you could be a good addition." I think it kind of builds that relationship too.
Yeah, I do think that is the advantage of the small school. Whereas, I got class sizes of the mid 300s. And
Mhm.
I'm an instructional coach, so they're not my students, right? I'm in the
Yeah.
building, but I don't see them. They see me at lunch doing lunch duty.
Mhm.
That's about it. Getting that word out. Like I've had parents email me and say, "How do I get my kid involved?" I'm like, "Well, they just need to talk to me." I mean, I'm like, "I'm not
Yeah.
scary, people. Come on
Yeah.
up."
Just reach out
Um,
to me.
yeah, but that was the thing. I think small schools get the advantage there. Small, larger schools, while we have more students to pull from, I think we also have so many more activities that it's hard to pull kids out of things.
Yeah,
Whereas I've seen that small schools maybe don't have as many activities going on at once.
I've kind of ran into the dual sporters. My
Yep.
R6
Yep.
team has a couple football players, so I've had to work around that. I always joked last year that we had like the most athletic R6 team because like 4 out of my 5 players were football players. So
I mean, those kids are doing two things at once, and
yeah,
I think typically coaches, we're going to find a way to make it work because we want the kids for both.
yeah. I mean, with being first year, you kind of want them out, and they kind of help generate the interest too.
Yep. So let's think about practice for a second. What are
Mhm.
some of those big things that you do at practice that you think have been successful for your kids?
I just have them kind of come in and play with each other. I haven't really structured much of a practice yet. I'm still trying to figure that out being in our second year, but
Yep.
it really finds out the best of like, sometimes I let the students lead it. So like I find some that are super strong in the game and just be like, here, this is you work on it and figure out what we need to do. And you're the captain. I'll just sit back here and make sure, you guys don't break stuff. But
Yep.
sometimes the captain will take it over, which is really good. One thing I do try to hit is really what you need to communicate, like how you communicate with each other. Because I'll hit it later too, but one of my biggest challenges is that kids are used to playing alone. They're not used to playing in a
Yep.
team. So they're used to playing with a whole bunch of randoms, and they're not used to playing with their friends, and they get mad at each other and they start yelling. And I remember vividly one of my R6 games. I actually had to like during one of the 5 minute timeouts, I literally just had to sit down and be like, "You got to stop yelling at this kid. You've got to listen to him. Like we got to figure this out because this isn't working." And it wasn't like a whole uplifting speech, but it was one of those things that I just vividly remember doing. Being as it was like my third match ever, so
Yep.
you kind of remember those things of like, oh yeah, I remember getting on him for that. But it's really just kind of going in practicing. With Super Smash, we practice in the morning, so it's kind of hard to like practice against other teams. But I think
Hmm.
I'm going to switch to the afternoons next season just to get some more people out. But just with our open labs, most of my Overwatch team plays Super Smash as well. So I just did a coaching clinic with Austin Litch from BK.
Yep.
He was really good with Smash. He was very knowledgeable, and we had a really good time. And at the end, we got his kids again to play us, just kind of some friendly matches, and it still didn't really it ended the way it did last night, but it was still more fun as like a more laid back experience where they get to practice what they've just learned so that they're used to it. And it also gave me some things that when they're practicing, I can hit like, hey, you know, try doing this, or, remember often talk to you about that so that we can try to, I mean, we have one more match left. We have a makeup, so there's not much
Yeah.
season left, but I mean, there's still something we can work on for next year and beyond.
Yeah, I think that's helpful. I think that's been like what I always tout like the awesomeness of the Iowa High School Esports Association. There's so many of the other coaches want to do a scrimmage, they want to help each other out.
Oh yeah.
It's not that like, well, you need to be bad so I can be good type
Yeah.
situation where I think everybody's kind of come together with that.
I
Um,
think I think we want that parity where
yep,
we're playing good teams and it's just one good team after the other. There's no bad teams per se.
yep,
It's just a team that, might have not have as much skill, but they're still good record wise. It's unfortunately someone has to lose. That's just kind of how video games are. But the parity is what I really like about this league is that I mean you've stepped up and done a Rocket League scrimmage with my club kids before, so
mhm,
it's we want to make each other better. And
yep.
that's what I like about this place.
Yeah, I think like I know I've had after some matches, especially Smash, where somebody said, "Hey, can so and so play so and so?" Because they see
Mhm.
like they didn't get to play them during the match, they really want to try to get better.
Yeah.
Or like our our Ridley player this week went 3-0. He had to three stock the opponent to get to a tie, and he
Mhm.
three stocked him. I think he ended with like 180%. Like he was just like
Ooh.
locked in, didn't lose a stock. And afterwards, he's like, the other coach goes, "Yeah, our Ridley player was taking notes on how your Ridley player was doing." And so, I mean, like that's just one of those
Yeah.
things.
I think competitions too are nice because we
Yep,
we get to take notes on what they're doing, especially with Smash. You sometimes have that overlap where you might have the opponent might have a King K rule player and you might have a King K rule player, so you take
yep.
notes on how they play.
As long as they don't have a Wii Fit trainer, I still have like PTSD from that 1 year in playoffs with the Wii Fit trainer. That's just brutal. The new way we do it now with you don't have just one person can 15 stock the other team. That's actually pretty good sometimes.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are those biggest successes you've had out so far? I mean, you say it's only been a short while there, but
Mhm.
you've had a couple seasons. What are those kind of wins that are going to keep you going?
I guess the biggest win was just making state last year, 2 out of the 3 seasons. I don't want to say I walked in with very low expectations, but I didn't really know what to expect. My R6 team, we started out, kind of shaky, and then we figured it out. And I was just sitting here like, hey, we actually, have a good chance to do something really good. Then we made state our first time, and I'm just like, holy cow, like, is this what it's like?
Yep.
And that was kind of like a big win. And then getting fifth in our first year was kind of a huge deal. I don't really know how the constellations work out. I think it was fifth. I'm not a math teacher, I'm a social studies teacher,
Yeah.
so bracket reading's not my specialty. And then to go back and do that again for Rocket League, we were pretty good again, dropped a couple matches, made it in the playoffs, did really well in the playoffs, and then we went up to state and got fifth again. So I mean to go back to back state and then almost making state in Val. But I had to do some, I guess, discipline issues. So we were playing with four in the
Yep.
playoffs. So obviously a 4v5 isn't going to end very well, but still making it to the playoffs 3 out of 3 seasons really isn't anything that's too shabby.
No, I
Um,
mean, plus that success should keep the momentum going, right? Probably let
oh
our
yeah.
kids know, hey, this is a serious thing. I
Oh
want to
yeah.
play,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
making states a fun thing for them. Great experience for the kids.
yeah. Because especially like a lot of my kids are like, we loved going to state because we got to talk to a lot of different people. Like I remember our first R6 match, we were sitting waiting, and my kids start playing Clash Royale with Osage's kids. And I'm just like, what are we doing here, guys?
Yep.
But like we were sitting and talking, and Luke Shear and I were talking. Like we weren't about to face each other. It was just people coming together and playing video games for the heck of it. And
Yep.
the two of us were just happened to be on opposing sides, but in the end of the day, we're both coaches and we're both doing something we like, and nothing's really going to change that.
I do think that trip to state's good for the kids, especially if they have a chance to come back next year because
Hmm.
one, they're ready for that experience
Oh
because it
yeah.
is different, right? Because when you're just
Oh
playing
yeah.
in your lab against somebody online, you don't get to see them, you don't hear them,
Hmm.
and now you're face to face with them. You can
Oh
hear them
yeah.
talking. And that's always the interesting thing. Like I've tried to do some scrimmages with our neighboring school districts in person
Hmm.
sometimes,
To get
just
that
to
experience.
just to get that. Like the first time we
Hmm.
brought in, um, oh, it was the Gilbert Roland story I brought in for Overwatch, and I had to keep telling my kids, "Hey, they can hear you, right? You
Yeah.
understand that? So that's going to happen at state. So you got to change your comms
Get
a little
used to
bit."
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was something we had to get used to because like usually I never sit last year I didn't sit in Discord at all, but now I sit in
yep,
Discord and kind of talk with them as we go through. But like I had my AirPods on, so I was trying to be discreet. Now with this headset, I can always
hmm,
be like, "Hey, we're doing this," kind of cover my
yep,
mouth, kind of do the whole football coach thing. Um, but last year I didn't have that, and my kids were like, I did not like having to hear them because like Osage was literally right across the table from us,
yep.
so we had to they like I had to be very covert in what we were doing because they I didn't want them to figure out like, oh, this is what this means.
Yeah, I think we had to change communication. I think it's for
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of kids, it's also intimidating when the other team is
Hmm.
so much more vocal than you are, especially for those who don't like we're talking more of the team games. It's a little different when you're talking like Smash, which is just
Yeah, yeah.
1v1. But when it's 5v5 for Overwatch or Valorant or
Hmm.
anything like that, it's easy to see the teams that have that strong communication, they tend to do better. It's just they're
Hmm.
more organized, and that is something that kids playing at home may not get a whole lot of if you're
Yeah.
playing with random people online.
Yeah, I mean we when we played Rocket League, we played against Mikey Hart from Okaboji. I don't know if you've ever
Oh
coached
yeah, I
against
know.
him, but
Yeah, yeah,
he's a very vocal guy. And in Rocket League, he's like, go, go, go. I'm like, geez, like calm it down here, man. But then
yeah,
we talked after and he's just like I just get into it. I'm like, nothing
yep,
wrong with that. It was just intimidating to me because my kids are just sitting here like, all right, I'm gonna go. They're like they were super calm. And then there's
yep,
Mikey like a couple feet away from me yelling at like, it's your turn to go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I
yeah.
should be doing something now.
I tend to my approach is probably more similar to yours. I stay back a little bit. I'm there to motivate and just remind them, get them focused.
Hmm.
They are the ones who know the game.
Oh yeah, yep,
And I'm just trying to keep them as good players because I don't want them to get in their own heads
yeah,
or to get just kind of overwhelmed by the
yeah, oh yeah,
situation.
yeah.
So kind of talked about wins. We talked about some of the challenges you have. Is there any other big challenge that you've had, getting the program going or just getting others on board with what you're doing?
Yeah, it was kind of the buy-in thing because, like I said, it's kind of hard. Kids are used to playing on their own. They're not really used to playing with the team. So when you get that team aspect, I don't want to say kids get intimidated, but they don't like changing their playing style.
Yep.
I mean, in R6, because I know R6 is probably the best. If you're a roamer, you don't want to sit and anchor site when you're defending. You want to go out and roam and get those picks so that your team can be better. But in a team, you might not be able to roam, play a vigil or a Caviera play as much as you want to because maybe you do need to anchor site because things aren't going well. And just
Yep.
try to do that trade off where yes, let's play to your strengths, let's let you do what you do best, but also we got to do what benefits the team best too. You can't just go off and do whatever you want.
Yep.
This year's been better because um, year two, you kind of know what to expect. You know, kind of how to coach the kids. Like, oh, hey, like, yes, you're good at roaming. I get that, but also we're down. 6-3. We can't be roaming here on defense and trying to get these picks because we need to get the momentum to at least hopefully get us into an overtime. But
Yep.
that's just kind of a large struggle I've had, or even with teaching how to communicate, because kids, I think, now know that communication is just how loud can I yell?
Hmm.
And it's just if you don't teach them, it's like mass chaos. It's like
Yep.
all these voices in your head, especially if you're sitting in Discord as the coach, you're just like, I don't even know what you're trying to say here. Like it's just overlapping conversations. So that's something that I'm trying to focus on now is like, hey, when you calm, you don't need to give a whole paragraph. You might need to just to say, hey, down on two p, like right there, like just say that, and you're good, and let
Yep.
the person go from there.
Telling them to get to the point, like, there
Yeah,
shouldn't be all that extra talk because,
yeah,
that's we're wasting time, we're wasting focus, energy.
Hmm.
Go back to the thing you said about like, play. I mean, this is a teamwork skill that they're learning. They can apply to a lot of
Hmm.
different things. You want to make the connection to like football.
Hmm.
You can have a good offensive lineman, but they're not the best tackle. So you're going to be the guard now.
Hmm.
So they have to learn that that's different, and they may
Hmm.
have somebody who's better than them at some other position, but now you got to play
Oh yeah.
this role because it's all about the team. It's not about the
Hmm.
individual.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that is a
definitely.
huge thing for those team games in esports.
Hmm.
Um, Smash and Mario Kart to an extent are a little different, but
Hmm.
I do enjoy the team ones. I think, especially Rocket League, because there's only three to coach.
Yeah, it's just
But
three. Yeah.
although they're all still so much better to me. All right, well, I definitely a lot of great things you've shared. I really want to look at the difference, like small schools, big schools, and then I'm gonna have to talk with some people outside of Iowa soon. We're gonna end with one question. I did not
Hmm.
put this on this because I just added it today because I had talked with somebody. So, what's your favorite game to play right now, and what's your favorite game of all time?
I'm actually kind of right now. I've been on a Marvel Rivals kick.
Oh yeah,
I'm kind of rode the wave. I rode it when it first came out in December, whenever it came out. I kind of played it a little bit over Christmas break when I had some time. So I've been enjoying that. I'm enjoying trying to figure stuff out. I've been watching. I don't know if you watch a lot of pro esports, but they're right now Marvel Rivals has like a huge LAN tournament in
hmm
Atlanta, Georgia. So I've been watching that when I can to try to pick up some tidbits because I'm hoping to have a rivals team, try to get some maybe compositions we can run, maybe some strategies, maybe some bad ideas to just try out practice just for fun.
yep,
Um, Favorite game all the time? I don't know. I mean, that's good. That's a
yeah.
really good question.
I should give you a little more time for that because that is the big
No, it's
one,
fine.
right?
I think the one I had the most fun playing was Assassin's Creed Rogue. I don't know why I enjoyed playing. It was just like
Yep.
the aha moment when you get to the end of it, because like the way that they just like segue into the new game, because I think Rogue was like the precursor to Unity or something. I think is what it
hmm
was, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like, it like segued perfectly into it. It wasn't even like the storyline; it was just the way it like the cutscenes and how it perfectly worked through was kind of
Yep.
what made it just perfect for me.
Those are great answers. All right. Well, thank you again, Isaac, for being part of this. And again, hope everybody's listening or watching. Tune in next time. Got a couple other good guests lined up in the next couple weeks. So thank
All
you.
right, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.